Hello. So today I just want us to discuss something. For the past 3 years, the Ukrainian-Russian war has all been ongoing, and a lot of people have died. In fact, according to statistics, this war, people are dying day by day more than World War II. This is a meat grinder. This is a war that it doesn't look winnable because yes, Russia has upper hand over Ukraine. However, Ukraine is not fighting alone over the past 3 years. They have United States, they have the European Union, about 36 states fighting Russia because all of them are providing weapons to support Ukraine. In fact, without this support from the West, Ukraine wouldn't have survived for more than 2 weeks. And all of you can tell if you have been following the conflict, you realize that in the first 2 weeks, Russia had advanced almost to Kiev. They were actually in Kiev. So, Donald Trump, the president of the United States, promised during his campaign that when he wins and comes to power, he is going to ensure that he settle that war diplomatically and make sure that people stop dying. Over the years, whatever Zelensky, president of Ukraine, asks, he get it. But today, Donald Trump wants peace. He said people are dying both on Russia and Ukrainian side, and therefore he wants to put an end to it. So he started by calling Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, had a meeting, diplomatic meeting in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and then President of France, Macron, going to the White House, the Oval Office, had a discussion about it. Keir Starmer from United Kingdom, and all of them trying to bring peace. However, they have different perspective. The peace that Keir Starmer and Macron want to give to Ukraine is quite different from the peace that Donald Trump wants to give to Ukraine. Their approach is different. But if I'm the president of a country that has been attacked by a neighbor that is far more larger, far more powerful, the second military power in the world, and for the past 3 years, my people has been dying, and the war doesn't look like I'm even winning, and it's becoming unwinnable. However, I'm losing, the other opponent is advancing. And the president of the United States, the greatest country on earth, with all the powers, says that I'm going to put a stop to this through diplomacy. And you have the chance to visit United States of America and sitting in the prestigious Oval Office with the president, the vice president, other people, the media. And all that Zelensky could do was to challenge the president because to him, he doesn't trust Putin. So he doesn't need diplomatic solution. He feels he can he can defeat Russia on the battlefield, which is not possible. And he's trying to do, if you read his gesture and everything, all I can say is that he's trying to drive the European Union and America into direct conflict with Russia, which could end in World War III. Because Russia sees it as existential threat. Ukraine sees it as a breach on their sovereignty. And therefore, nobody want to give up. Okay, so fast forward. The president said he's going to put these two gentlemen on a table plus United States making three and solve the problem. Stop the war, ceasefire now, and then the rest of the discussion can go on. And one of the security guarantees that United States want to give to Ukraine is to sign a mineral deal because, of course, they've already invested $355 billion. Do you know what $355 billion can do to the economy of the United States? The kind of jobs that it can create. But this money has been wasted on weapons just to kill people, basically. Just to kill people, just people to die. And this president wants to solve the problem. And Vladimir Zelensky, Instead of being grateful and thankful to the United States, he doesn't see it. He feels like my country has been attacked and I deserve whatever support that you are giving me. That's how I understand, because his gesture in Europe, some of the country, based on the culture, when you are talking and they do like this or do like this, in America, you could say the F word, like it's like whatever you are saying, whatever is trash, that kind of stuff. This behavior, these gestures, whilst the president was talking. So what am I talking about? Just yesterday, President Zelensky visited the White House, and in a press briefing with the president, the vice president, there was a heated argument between Zelensky, the vice president J.D. Vance, and Donald Trump about the settlement of the Ukrainian conflict. According to Zelensky, they have had different agreements with Vladimir Putin of Russia, and he never observed those agreements, and therefore he's not trustworthy. So you cannot sign peace deal with him. And President of United States is saying that, look, if you had previous agreement with this gentleman, that was not during my presidency, and probably he didn't respect those that sat down, Joe Biden and other people, like he mentioned a few other names. Probably he didn't respect them, but for me, he respects me. And for me, he can never do that. The guarantees of United States is big enough, especially if they have economic business in your country, which in this case they were going to sign a mineral deal which will involve United States business directly in Ukraine. And this rare earth mineral deals we're talking about is most of them located in the eastern part of Ukraine, where the war is currently taking place. So with United States business in Ukraine, of course, Russia will not attack those businesses, those mining sectors, and therefore they cannot expand beyond that mining process, the mining sectors, the mining sites, and therefore they can never attack you again. That's the logic. I'm not saying Russia will do so or not, but that is the logic. And for United States, the biggest country in the world in terms of economy and military, says, hey, I'm guaranteeing, whether by word or by business economic reasons or whatever, I think it's enough. But if you think it's not enough, you have to be respectful enough to at least listen to the president, be all thankful. But what did Zelensky do? He said when the war broke up, they were all alone, which it wasn't true. They've never been alone. They have always had a support. Way back from 2008, Obama was providing some kind of support to them. Donald Trump said it was a sheet, like bed sheet and those kind of stuff. Politics coming here and there. But how they had this preparation, Donald Trump gave them javelins that they used to destroy the Russian tanks. And this war from 2014, after the Maidan, this war has been ongoing. And all the weapons, the support, the monetary support and everything came from United States and some European allies. So how dare you say that when the war started, you were all alone, like everybody watched you to suffer alone? If you were all alone, the war would have been over. This war has been dragging for 3 years because you have never been alone. So you have to be thankful, you have to be respectful. But you don't come to the Oval Office and try to use the press to advance a propaganda or an agenda or the negativities that we keep hearing in the traditional media about Russians and then the Vladimir Putin, which is not even there to answer. But we should always remember that in everything there is a cause and there is an action and reaction. So even if you sign a deal with him and he didn't, follow through, what happened? What did you do? Did you also follow through with? That's a question. But it looks like for the past 3 years, nobody has been questioning Volodymyr Zelensky. Nobody has been questioning him, and because nobody questioned him and everybody follows whatever he says, and we're singing the same slogan throughout, this time that the music is changing and is advancing towards peace, and he's been questioned, he doesn't like it. He wants to dictate how things should happen. And so, somehow threatening United States that you are lucky you are surrounded by big oceans and therefore you don't feel it, but one day in the future you will feel it. That is very disrespectful. That you don't have the intelligence. When I say intelligence, not mentally, but the agencies, the intelligence works to determine that. You can't even do that for your own country. Your own country's intelligence about this war and a lot of stuff has been provided by the MI6 and the CIA. But what a gas. What a gas. What a disrespectful attitude towards our president. So, I will go for peace. If I were Zelensky, I would choose peace. And I would choose the United States to be my backer, to be the country that settles the peace deal and serve as a deterrent. Because whatever is going on has a history to it. The war that is going on has a history to it. So it's only diplomacy that can solve it. But he wants to fight. He said, yeah, I want to end the war, but he wants to end the war in his way. But you don't have the cards, as President Trump keeps saying. You don't have the cards. You don't have anything on the table. The only thing that makes you feel tough is because you have the backing of the European Union and America. Without the backing of this, you'll be begging. The war would have been over. So go for peace. Your people are dying. 2,000 plus people are dying every day. Every single day. And the president wants to give you peace through diplomacy and you are rejecting it. That you still want to fight. So this is what you see. This is what you see when people become so tough. They think they are tough, but they are not. When people become too arrogant and they don't want to respect even those that put food in their own mouth. I will advise Zelensky to go for peace settlement. And going for peace will require certain sacrifices. After all, if you follow the history of Ukraine and Russia, they are the same people. They have not always been fighting. So this whole conflict can just be traced less than 10 years down the lane. So why can't brothers sit on a table and find peace? I think it's doable.